Hello, everyone. I am Sheron Edward. I am the host for your show, the episode tonight. I say your show because this is all about you. I am here to host Choose Your Path. And today we are talking to Pastor Adrian Quinn. This is going to be a special episode. I believe I really feel that today. I would every time right before I go live, I meditate and I pray. Like I really put myself into these conversations and I want to hear whatever it is that my higher being and God has to say to me, and to be fully open with a open, positive mind to hear and receive whatever it is that I'm receiving in the conversation. So yes, that is my thing that I do every single conversation. It is absolutely necessary. Is that also would you rather? I don't know what that kind of means, but all right, let's just get started. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. I'm making my grandma proud right now. I'm telling you. Let's get started. I believe that our guest is here. Hey, you're ready. Hi, Sarah. It's Sarah only. Hello. I see you, Monroe, the MSG. I see you. All right, let me see this technical stuff I tell you. Robin Shaw Music, you are here. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Mr. You say free Sheron Edwards is in the virtual house. Hello, Magnolia. Mrs. Oh, it says you're unable to join. Maybe the where you're sitting, you know how sometimes the Wi-Fi act all weird. So maybe you have to go to another place to sign on. That's okay. Guys, just momentarily we will be going live. Momentarily, we're having some technical difficulties because that's just what technology does. Hello, hello, hellos. Yes, today I have a very, 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 very special guest, Pastor Adrian Quinn. This is going to be part two of our conversation because he said something that was so mind blowing to me that I said we need to do a part two. So here we are. Ooh. And I see we already got questions in the bubble. Yes, yes, yes. Hello. There is. We're just waiting for our guest, just in case. Okay, let's try and see. I don't know what that. I don't know what that means. Hmm. I'm wondering. Wow, you guys are showing up and showing out. Wow. I'm wondering, should I close it and restart it? I keep trying. Thank you guys for your patience.
Hello.
Okay, there we are.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. I
Yes.
know. I know. Last time it was the confusion. I was like, "Do I call? Do whatever?" So we
Yeah.
we we always get
We're
it right.
here. Of course, of course. I'm so excited to be here today because we are talking about I gotta make sure that I put my phone on silent too. I don't know if I did. You know, it's so funny. Sometimes when you go live, people will see you live and then they start calling. And that
I know
never made any sense to me as to why you, you know what I mean? That someone would call when they clearly see you in action.
it. I know it. I
I,
know it.
I can add a few choice words, but I won't say why people do that, right?
Exactly.
Okay, shout out to Uncut Magazine. I see you, or you are
They're
in
my
the
people.
virtual building. Those are my
They're my people.
peeps,
Uncut. Mr. LPD. What it do, baby? They're my
right?
folks.
Is it?
Mississippi all day. Mississippi all day, man. You know what I'm talking about?
So here we are on Choose Your Path. I'm starting this new thing now where when I start the show, I'm going to read off a quote. And
Okay.
I just think that that's been working. I like it. I've been doing it the past couple of episodes, and I really like to start it off that way. So for
Okay.
today's quote, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
I love that.
That's the quote for today. Yes, the
Love that.
road to equality is not easy for anyone. Okay. So we've
Mhm.
learned that when we look in history, so many people, right, have paid such a massive price
Right.
for this word that we say called justice. Right.
Yes.
I remember when my daughter's father was murdered, gunned down at the age of 24. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember being outside and screaming, no justice, no peace, right? And
Right.
we did that up and down the streets. And it was like, oh, there goes another black brother, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it, you know? And then the mom goes home and she has her pain and she has to deal with the loss of her child. And it seems that the world has continued to move forward and no one is ever even really thinking about what that actually means when you say no justice, no peace.
That's true.
I lived in a household with my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and my father was born in 1912. So I literally
Wow.
feel like I have like a oh soul.
No
I
wonder.
yeah, and I grew up hearing a lot about injustice. I grew up hearing about a lot of things that I won't speak on here because my grandmother was so loyal to the
Right.
movement, right?
Wow.
That she didn't
Wow.
really talk about it much, but she shared it with me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much, familiar with it. And today I have to say and put this disclaimer: I'm not an activist. I'm not any of those titles. I'm Sheron Edward. That's what my mom named me, right? And I'm here to have a conversation with Pastor Adrian Quinn about something that I hear us scream all the time. And I know that this is a conversation that I probably never really actually had in such a way as
Mm-hmm.
being on social media or sharing a stage and talk about this. So I was sitting during my meditation. I said, my grandmother is very proud of me because we have to be the voice for the voiceless.
Yes.
Right? We have to be that voice. And it's like if you have a platform that can bring about change, whatever that may look like for you, because everybody had their own
Yeah.
perceptions of what that may be,
Right.
then
Mm-hmm.
here we are. And it brings us together for part two because we share, oh my God, it was like you literally opened up the window to your soul and here and shared some very deep things that happen in your life and just the
Mm-hmm.
journey, of life. And then you brought up a man's name. The name is so important. Names are so important, and it's so important for us to say the name, right?
Yes.
Something about saying the name. Can you say
Yeah.
his? Can you say his name?
Sheron Edwards.
Sheron Edwards. You
Yeah.
brought it, you said it, and it was like, we have to come back and we have to talk about who Sheron Edwards is. I was reading a little bit. I don't know. I can't believe I left my book in the car. I wanted to like show it. I'll take a picture and I'll post it. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Because I do have it. I
Yeah.
started
Oh, I know you
reading
do.
it.
And
Yeah.
I saw you, and we're going to thank you for your support. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So I think eventually I am going to speak to him because I think what's going to be beautiful about it is that we're going to talk about disturb, do not disturb. We're going
Yeah.
to talk about, maybe what I observe and what I've seen in my perspective. And then,
Hmm.
you being that guy that is in the community, that, that you get your feet, head, all of it in there. You can give that perspective of, and show us the so here we are. I'm going to read a little bit about him. This is
Hmm.
I didn't even realize that it is a. Oh, okay, yep. All right. This is a little bit about from his petition. I read on here, but I guess it has like his bio here, and it says he's from Starkville, Mississippi.
Yes, sir. That's the
A
hometown.
graduate of Starkville High School, he pursued a music career in Atlanta, Georgia, shortly after graduating from high school. Then years
Hmm.
later, he came back to Starkville to attend Mississippi State University. He has been
Hmm.
incarcerated in the federal jurisdiction since 1999 for
Yep.
armed robbery. All right.
Yes.
And at the end of the federal sentence in 2017, he will begin the state sentence of 20 years. And then throughout his time, have done some amazing things with education,
Yes.
just really supporting even those who are going through as well. Like you going through your own thing, but you like, here, brother,
He,
let me teach one, right?
that's the beauty about it. He's got a barber license. He's suicide prevention. He taught that class, with people that get locked up in prison, that's maybe suicide or whatever. He taught them how to, to get through whatever. And he just even more certificates he's gotten. He's just a bright light. Even if I'm going through something, I get on the phone with him, and I know his situation is way worse than mine. I get off the phone with him. I like, you know what, my day gonna be good because he brightens it, and he's just it's just I hate to see him in that situation. It's just very excessive. 2 life sentences, 2 20-year sentences, and it hurts me because I've known him since we was about 12 years old. So but he's keeping his head up.
And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So I wanted to introduce him to the audience in case they did not know
Hmm.
what we were talking about. And then maybe I should put here, I'm always so bad, so they can go. And did I do it right? If I didn't, someone please put it up there for me and I'll pin
That's
it.
the quick.
Okay.
Yeah, we should run that one so they can go
Okay.
to his
Yeah. So
his
they can go to,
page.
right. So they can go to his page. Here we are.
Hmm.
Wow. We really brought him out.
Bring them out, bring them out.
We really brought him out. Like this is amazing. How are you doing since our last conversation?
Oh, everything's been beautiful, just one day at a time. And my motto, always forward, never backwards.
Hmm.
So I'm just going forward, with my ministry and even with this prison reform, I'm starting to get my feet more wet, with Sheron's case. And I write poetry for people behind bars that don't have a voice. So I'm a poetry voice for the voiceless. So if there's anybody out there that have loved ones behind the bars, you can hit me up at Quinn 747. I'll write a poem free of charge just to get their name out there. So that's what I do. I'm a poet, prophet, minister, wear many hats, but the main hat I wear is love. If anybody knows about me, is I'm a voice for the voiceless, and I walk in love. I'm not too big on titles, but just know that it's love that's the motive that makes me do this, to be a voice for people behind bars that don't have a voice. So I am that poet. I write poems for their causes. So yeah, that's what I've been
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. Wow. And that's so amazing. That's how you know that our frequencies are matching at this moment, because that's what I was feeling like we have to be that voice for the voiceless. So it was
Mhm.
like, yeah, stand up and stand up tall. I do believe, as a Black woman in this country, what I do feel that we are lacking, for me, I don't feel very much protected by my kings.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
feel with leadership, we're missing being fearless. You understand what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
also sacrificing our people for financial gain. Anytime any
Uh,
leader does that, anytime
I
any
would.
leader does that, we sacrifice our people.
I
Anytime
know.
that it's about that, we're sacrificing our people. So
I
um,
know.
do
Ah.
that's my experience as a Black woman right now in this country. I mean,
Mm.
we can definitely go on and on and on about the other shackles that are, I guess, that try to place on people. I mean,
Mhm.
but
Right.
for the most part, that's my experience right now. It doesn't
And
feel like when my dad was alive. It doesn't feel like if you're messing up that someone's going to stand up and let you know, like, hey, you're messing up. You
right.
know what I mean? Like, you need to get
Exactly.
it together. You got this. We're
Exactly.
missing so much of that. And I think that through conversations, I believe that we can really change a nation. And
That's
that's what
true.
this platform is about. It's like, choose your path. Know that, that mindset that you have, it's about growth. It's about being fearless. And it's about stepping into your potential of what you can possibly be if you choose
Exactly.
to, right?
Exactly.
When
Yes,
I
ma'am.
watched my grandmother, she do her garden, and she would place this little bitty seed in there. I mean, like, and go down the rows and feed the community. But the thing about the seed is once you put it in there, she would, cover it up with dirt, and she would water it. And she never knew like what was
Right.
gonna actually come up. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad.
Right.
What do you think about, how do you talk to people who don't even feel like they're a seed?
You know, I think about me when I was coming up. I used to be a pimp. I sold dope. I was in the music industry. I was a bad boy. I'm talking about, I was in Atlanta. I was on a whole nother path until I read the book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X. And I had a cousin. I was living on the west end of Atlanta, and he was a Muslim, and I was selling dope. And he told me one time, he said, I was selling dope. I had a half a pound of weed. And he came home and flushed my weed down the toilet. I'm pissed. I'm like, excuse my French. I'm like, man, why you flush my dope? You flush my
Yeah.
weed. He said, you don't understand. You are a modern day Moses and you can't even see it. And then it didn't register. Now, the man that I'm becoming, I called, I think I talked to him. I tried to get in contact. I said, you remember that time you told me? I said, I'm becoming that. I didn't understand it then.
Yeah.
Now I see. So it's the grace. And a lot of people God called them to do a bunch of things, but a lot of people, are, like you were saying, don't have integrity and they're not bold enough to
Mm-hmm.
go against the grain or go right when the whole world is going left. And that takes a bold person. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah, it
It does.
does.
You know, everybody is followers now. We're living in a world now where everybody's following the trends, following everything, but nobody wants to stand up and be different, and be who God really called you to be. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. I think a lot of people are scared and they're not bold enough to, and they're scared what the crowd gonna say or what people gonna say. Oh look, Quinn used to be like this. Now Quinn know he used to be a thug and all that. Now he on this Malcolm X type stuff. You feel
Right.
me?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And if more brothers, like you said earlier, if more of our black brothers or men we're not perfect, but if we just step up and take the youth by the hand, and stop hating on them and say, look, young brother, you know what I mean? That way you going, it's going to lead to this. Now, I ain't trying to, tell you how to live your life, but I think if you go this way, and let me tell you why I know, because I've been down that road. And at the end of this cliff, people are falling off. Now you can go. I already told you at the end of this cliff, people going to fall off. If you choose to go and fall off, that's on you. We need to be, as black men, be bold and talk to these young brothers. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. What is justice? What is that?
Justice to me is when the scale is balanced. If a person do a crime, the time should fit the crime. You understand? But lately, and especially for us as Black people, and it's just the truth, it's no justice, it's just us. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's no justice, it's just us. The scales are unbalanced. And it's been like that for 400 years since we've been over here in slavery. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery unless you're incarcerated. So what did they do after slavery? To get Black men, free work out of Black men, they locked Black men up for the smallest infractions, like stealing a chicken or looking at a white woman the wrong way. Lock them up, they get free labor, and it's slavery all over again. And I think that's what's happening now, where our Black brothers are getting excessive sentences for crimes that another color would only get a slap on the wrist for.
Yeah.
So that's justice when the scales is balanced.
Almost like that thing that one of my favorite speeches of Martin Luther King, and he mentioned something about all we want is what you put on that piece of paper. Like if you say this is what it is, then this is what it should be. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So when you think
that's what you put, hey, I'm gonna get real country, dirty. What you put on that paper, man, that's what we want. We want what you say you gonna do, man.
Exactly. That's it, because a man is only as good as his word. So if this is what you say that it is, this is what it should be at the end of the day. And the thing that I find very interesting about Mr. Sheron Edward's case is that I was writing down something that, because I knew, people they have a lot of questions, especially when it comes to the justice system, right? Give me some of your insight on the relationship between decisions and consequences.
Okay, decisions and consequences. That's life. Even starting as a child, your parents, they teach you, look, if you do this is the consequence with that, And sometimes we're hard-headed. We hear that, but we still go against the grain. I want to, a hard, the old saying, a hard head makes a soft ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we still go against the grain, and we want to bump our head. We want to learn the hard way. But in life, every decision has a consequence, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. Whatever, and it goes back to sowing seeds. You sow good seeds, you get a good harvest. You sow a bad seed, you get a bad harvest. That's just life. I think about my life. I sowed a lot of bad seeds in my life, and the harvest came, and it whooped me. And I'm telling you, that's why I'm so humble now. I'm not a man sitting up here saying I was perfect. I did some bad stuff. I was like they say in Jamaica, me a bad man that thing go on. See, I did some bad stuff, but life is about decisions and consequences. So that's just good or bad. That's what it's about.
And I think the beautiful thing is that he owned up to, okay, I did this, but I also did my time. And it almost feels like, to me, once again, I'm not an attorney, I'm not an activist, I'm not any of that. I'm just Sheron Edward, a Black woman in the United States of America having an experience. Yep. It just feels like double jeopardy. Like someone's charging you for one crime, like double. Like,
and see, what they hit me with, most people say it's double jeopardy, but double jeopardy is when you went to trial and been acquitted, and then they try to take you to trial again. But what they did in Sheron's case, they hit them with a dual sovereignty. Dual meaning two. Sovereignty means jurisdiction. That means is you can go to trial in one jurisdiction and you get acquitted in that jurisdiction, and the next jurisdiction they can convict you. And it's from an old case for Barkis versus Illinois. Well, Barkis versus Illinois was a 1950s case where Barkis robbed a bank. He was acquitted in federal court, but the state still turned around and prosecuted him. Not only did they prosecute him, but the federal authorities presented whatever evidence they had at his state trial. So it's like they tried him twice for the same crime. So it's one crime, two sentences, and they're very selective of who they did it. And in his case, the lead detective in 1998 his name was David Lindley. He was suspended from the force for wearing his KKK robe to City Hall. But by the time Sheron case came around, he was reinstated. So he was the lead detective on the case. So there's a lot of craziness in it, but they hit it with a dual sovereignty.
Yeah, that is just very, very unfortunate. And I know the first time that we had spoke and you mentioned it, it's just I could just feel it in a wrench in my chest. Like, whoa, we can't just say that and not bring that back up. We cannot just say that and not, let's remind people and let's start talking about who he is because
Say his name.
he's playing, say his name because he's playing a massive price, a
He
massive price.
he 2 life sentences. From 1999 to 2017, he served his state time, and now from 2017, federal time. I'm sorry, from 1999 to 2017, he served his federal time, and now from 2017 up to now, he's serving his state time. That is just excessive. 20-year sentences. I've seen murderers get less time than that.
I seen murders from my neighborhood get like 5 years and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then also I want to say this: the victim in Sheron's case was a white guy who went to school with Sheron. His father was a state court judge in Mississippi. So all this with the lead detective being a KKK member, they tried to railroad Sheron. 2 20-year sentences. They tried to make a statement. Plus, is in Mississippi. Nah. And then he done his time. Let the man out. Now you're trying to give him another 20-year sentence and he'll be getting out when he's like 60 something. We're not going for that. I'm bringing awareness to this. No justice, no peace. I can't sleep until like they say in the streets, until my dog is home. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, see, no justice, no peace. That comes
right. Exactly.
That comes back up. Yes. And the beautiful thing about this is that my podcast just went live and it's live on Google Play. I think soon Apple and all these amazing things. It's out there.
I'm so proud of you.
Anchor.fm. I'm so excited because, one of the beautiful things about having integrity is that you start to really know what your worth is. And I don't mean just financial gain. I mean just really knowing what your worth and what your purpose is. And I really do honestly feel like I know what my purpose is. I'm telling you, in the past there were deals thrown, and I just feel like if anything questions that integrity, then that's just not for me because God would never have me questioning what he wants me to do, really. You know what I mean? Like I trust him.
Your spirit is so dope. I was gonna tell you that I'm a prophet and I pick up on people's spirits. You have giving, want to see people shine spirit, and I have that. You are a voice for the voiceless through your Choose Your Path, and I want to thank you. Also, I want to give you your roses while you're alive for allowing Sheron to say his story and my story earlier. And I want to thank you for helping so many people. You are a light, and the world. What the world needs is more people like you with integrity. So I want to thank you. Right now, give you your roses right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. I believe that all of everyone up into this point that has made an appearance on this show, trust and believe. I believe that they are truly good people. I don't, every now and then you might get someone that you don't really connect with. And that's unfortunate when you have conversations like this, because it's very easy to just leave the building, but you're still physically there. And I don't like that feeling. So I always pray, like, God, please send me. I want to do your will, literally, because life is just so short. I've seen so many people and loved ones around me just literally, go on. And I worked as an EMT for 15 years, so I've seen a whole lot. And I just want to do good, and I want to just let everyone know that they're a seed. And so I always post, and I'm posting others, because I love it, and I want to celebrate other people's success. Because guess what? That's a beautiful thing for someone to realize. Like, I can do this.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you can. I want to share that. Like, what's your idea? What are you working on? This is good. And we have our brother here that's, he's doing so much time. Like, he went in at the age of 23. How old was he? 23?
Yeah, around about 23, something like that. Yeah.
I was reading this book and he took me back. I was like, I remember Donkey Kong. I remember Pac-Man. I remember the
Yeah,
arcade. I remember going outside and when outside was
yes,
cool. Yeah, it's a
yes,
really good book and I really recommend that people pick that up and really look into the lenses of this man who is doing two times. How do you say it again?
one crime, two sentences, two life sentences,
One crime, two
two
life
sentences.
sentences. That
Yes,
means time that you can spend with the woman that you love, if she's there, the
yes,
time with your family, time for creating and building something new. We
yes.
all can make mistakes. God knows I've made some mistakes, right?
Lord knows I
But
have.
the
Yes,
biggest thing is um recognizing that I made the mistake, owning up to it, and then being a better woman because of it. So I
yes.
think that it's unfortunate that someone can just hit a gavel and say, your life isn't worth a dang on thing. You go ahead and I'm gonna sleep good at night, wherever
God
that may
knows.
be.
40
Right?
years. Yes, 40
So
years.
we gotta really put this out loud and put this into the media so that people know that this is not just happening to him, but it's happening to so many others. So
Yes,
many others.
so many people. A lot of people hit me up. I want to shout out to Michael Wadsworth also. He's another one that he got 100 years, and um, all the people that is behind the bars that don't have a voice. And I just want to be the voice, like you say, voice for the voiceless, and
That's
that's who my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was. He was compassionate to the poor.
mhm.
He healed the sick. He was in the highways and the byways, so I follow his lead. So yeah, it's sad.
um do you feel free?
You say, do I feel free?
Hmm.
Uh, yes and no. Sometimes uh, being free, me being well, yes, being free is a state of mind. So I'm free
Hmm.
state of mind, but I don't feel free, and I'm an empath. I feel other people's pain. I can feel Sheron's
Hmm.
pain and all the people that's locked down. And I've been locked up
Ooh.
before, so I know how it feels. So I'm
Hmm.
not free unless all my brothers are free. You understand?
Yeah.
And spiritually I'm free, but I can't be free until my dog like Sheron is free and all the ones that's locked up behind the bars are free. And not saying that everybody gonna be free at the same whatever, but I want this
Hmm.
system like you were saying earlier. I want prison reform. I'm not gonna stop until this system justice is balanced. I
Hmm.
don't know if that'll ever happen in our lifetime or whatever, but I'm going to keep on fighting, pass the torch so somebody else can keep on fighting until they stop giving our brothers and sisters excessive sentences and don't give and it don't matches with the other colors or
Hmm.
shades what they get. They get slaps on the wrist and all that stuff. So it got to match up. The scale is unbalanced. So.
Um, raising a 14-year-old young man.
Mhm.
And as he get older, I start to think like, huh. I mean, having conversations about the police and having conversations about how you're already going to be perceived as some kind of threat as soon as you walk out of the door, you
uh,
know? um Connecting yourself with the right the girls,
Uh,
all of
yeah.
that, as a woman, giving him my woman perspective.
Right.
I'm really, really, I, I don't want to say I'm nervous because my grandmother didn't raise me to be so. I fear absolutely nothing. I know people say they fear God and all of that, but sometimes I'm very careful with even saying that because I do believe that if anything was to happen, I have to at some point come to terms with being okay with it because God allowed it to be, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
why would I fear? What am I
Hmm.
doing that for? I did that for a
Right.
while. I had to learn, and
Hmm.
that was the lesson. Why am I doing that?
Right.
How are you inspired at all by the social justice movements that are going on around in the world? This just let's just say this past year.
Well, yeah. And it inspired me, but I'm much more inspired by the old movements like the Malcolm X and the Martin Luther Kings, the Black Panthers. But this new one, we're trying. It's a step forward. Like Black Lives Matter. I'm Black Lives Matter, but I'm not Black Lives Matter. In other words, I'm not big on organizations, whatever. I'm just big on stuff being done. Because leadership will let you. A lot of leadership is about money. It's about they're not in it truly for the people. Me, I'm in it for the people. I gave up my life years ago when I walked away from the music industry. So when I'm repping for Sheron, I'm really repping for Sheron for no money or nothing. Not for me famous. I'm trying to make him and other brothers like Behind the Wall famous to bring awareness to their case. So I'm with the social movements, but I'm not with the leadership. Leaderships and stuff will let you down, especially when they're all about money and fame. I'm not trying to be, famous. I'm cool with being behind the scenes. I just want stuff to get done.
Sorry.
I just want results. That's all.
That is all we want. We want to see results. What is, to the extent does the power or the lack of power affect individuals?
Yes. Well, sometimes too much power can destroy you. I've seen people that get too much power, then there's no humility. You get arrogant, you get pride, and pride comes before the fall, the Bible says, and too much power, it destroys you. But lack of power, sometimes you don't have a voice. You can't get things done, whatever. So I think it has to be like an in between, like a balance. You got to be that in between, right there. Not too much power, but not no power where you can't. The lights can't come on. You got to be like, just right there.
You got to have some balance.
Some balance, and God arrived with you. God, he takes ordinary people and does extraordinary things. Like you look in the Bible, Moses, he led the Israelites from Pharaoh out of Egypt. You look at people like that ordinary people. He uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, he used these people to do extraordinary work. So I know if God got his hand on you, God put his super on your natural, it's going to be supernatural. So we have to put our faith in a higher power and know that he going to make it happen. That's how I get up every day. It's faith, even with Sheron case. I say, Sheron, I'm really not this. I'm just now starting getting into this because I'm just a humble poet, but my drive and my faith is so strong in God. God opens doors. He does this. He begins to do this. If you make one step forward, he will make two steps towards you. Exactly. Always forward, never backwards. Just get out there and start walking on water by faith. Walk on water, gangster walk on water. Whatever you got to do, just walk. Yeah. Don't just do it, and he'll start opening up the doors and parting the sea. So that's how I do it.
Yeah. So I want everyone to please, if you're listening on this podcast once it's posted, please go and follow Free Sheron Edwards, and also pick up the book. It's now available on Amazon. It's a very easy, amazing read because I love the visual. I love to read things and it can take me on a journey. Like I want to see what did that look like, living in the gardens. I want to see, I want to see,
wow.
like show me what that looks like, and your mom, like seeing your mom, I can see her leaving out and going and working her 2 jobs. Like I can see that. So it's a very good book. Yes, please go and buy the book. I highly recommend this book.
Yes.
And what else can we do as a people that are tuning in that would say, I want to, get it out there?
This is what you can do. Help us bring awareness. Everyone has most people an Instagram page. Just repost his picture and under it and just say what's going on with him. All it takes is something as little as that, repost his picture, follow his clemency page, or get something off his page and just repost it on your page and help us bring awareness and shed light on this very, very terrible situation that's going on. So that's what you can do. Or, just say his name, or repost, or just keep his name going, or repost a video off his page. Just help us, just that's all. That's all we asking, just something simple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and buy the book. And support him by buying the book.
Don't forget the book. You got to go and buy the book. Yes.
Buy this book, and this book is so dope because he takes us through different lenses of his life, like when he was little, like when he almost died, and actually he did die. And I ain't gonna tell the whole book, but he tells what he saw on the other side. When he first got to prison, how it felt when you first walking in prison, and you in this place is very intimidating. So this book, it takes us through different lenses of Sheron's life, and it's very, very dope.
Let me tell you, I think I shared this story maybe one time, and I'm gonna share it now for the second time, because I love to be the one that tells my story and not someone else. I mean, if they tell it, that's fine, but I've already made my peace with it. You understand?
Right.
So I come from a colorful, when I say colorful background, it did not look like what it looks like now. I mean, I always, strive. I worked hard. I bought my first house at 21 because that's what my dad said you're supposed to do. I went to college. I studied biology, minored in chemistry, and then I did a lot of studying different trades, medical assisting, EMT. What else did I do? Surgical tech. I mean, I kept doing all these things because it's so easy to just pick up a book and read. That's the only difference between you and the doctor is the books. Like, that's it. Right. Of course they got the license, but it's just the books that you read. And I did all of that, and I just said, wow, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what's next? What are we doing here? Right? What are we doing here? How does one, because I don't even know where I'm going with that, but how does one develop values and beliefs? Because we have all these questions sometimes. We talk about these things, but unfortunately there's another brother. He's not in there yet, but he's on his way. It hasn't happened yet. So in order to hopefully prevent that from happening, we need to change our mindset. The mindset is everything, and once that changes, your whole life literally changes. But if you have no values, you have no beliefs, you don't believe you're a seed, how do you develop that?
I think people's situations, it affects how it forms their mind. Like me, I grew up in Mississippi. A quick story. I grew up in Mississippi where, I was raised on blues music, but I was a rapper, and everybody said, I'm going to be a rapper. I used to watch BET every day. They said, you ain't going to be. They said, you ain't going to be no rapper. You coming from Mississippi, how you going to do it? Who going to help you? I told them, I said, I'm going to be a rapper. I spoke it every day. I used to watch BET every day until people thought I was crazy. And the crazy part is I hopped on a Greyhound. I went to Atlanta, and I slept on couches and floors. And one day I called my mom. I said, turn to BET. I had my first video featuring Rashida from Love and Hip Hop called Act a Fool with It. It was on. So what I'm saying is I spoke it even back then. But I think a lot of young kids, they don't have nobody to look up to but the dope boys and the pimps and the ball players or so. And that's impressionable on a young person's mind. I know it was me. So they want to be that. So they go down those paths, and those paths, most of them, dope boys and all that, it leads to where? Prison or the grave. So that's the path they choose. So that's how they get their values and stuff, and they join gangs and whatever. So, it's just, it has to be more positive brothers out there. We need more brothers out there that taking time for the young brothers, youth camps and setting up stuff to set time to talk to them and let them know at a young age. But we so busy about me, I want to shine, I want to do this. We don't want to help the next ones coming up. That's the problem. Yeah. That's where integrity comes in. We need to set up more things that we can help the youth and guide them and talk to them, and show them that we care. That's what's needed, I think.
Yeah, that's it. I know someone that put a question on the board earlier, and they were asking, what is Choose Your Path? And Choose Your Path was literally just an idea. It came up about I was just going to be talking to friends and people that I was inspired by, yes, please go and get Life's Lenses, the autobiography of Sheron Edwards.
Yes.
Um, I was going to just have conversations to inspire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, I felt like God gave me an idea to say, choose your path, because a lot of times when we find ourselves stuck, when we find ourselves in situations such as the pandemic, it affected so many people, and you feel like you
Yeah.
don't even know which way to go. There's always a decision and choice to be made, always, no matter what it looks like. And I noticed that even when I was in the hood growing up, like that dude had a decision of whether or not he wanted to get in a car with four other brothers or walk the long way home.
Mm.
He's faced with this decision. I'm going to get in this car and possibly these dudes is going to be on some rah, 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 right?
Right.
Or I could just go ahead and walk the long way home and take my chances there. Either way, it's still going to be something that could potentially, you could walk home and something can happen. It doesn't matter, but you
Right.
still have a choice. And
Right.
that's the point of this, is like, choose your path. Know that there's always a decision to be made, but you have to be quiet sometimes to be able to hear that, so that you can make that decision, and whatever choice is at hand, but know that you have one,
I
no
like
matter what it is. Because our brother Sheron Edwards could just choose to be like, all right, they gave me, this sentences with the S,
yeah. Yeah.
right? They put all
Mm-hmm.
of this on me, and I can just sit here, get up in the morning, get my morning child, hang out, whatever do behind bars, right? And then
Right.
go to bed at night and do the same thing all over again. Or I can choose to get above this situation, educate myself, and also put other implementations in place while I am headed to my freedom,
Right.
knowing and having the faith that that day will come.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that is like, I love this word, dope. Sorry, I just love this word. I was talking to another guy the other day. He's from London. He said, we don't use that over here. And I was like, well, long as it's not putting you down, in your
Exactly.
culture, I'm using
Exactly.
it because that's really
Right.
dope to do that. And that's what we have to do. That's what Choose Your Path is about, is rising above all of the madness and whatever it may look like and whatever you perceive it to be, and be a better person, that you can be a better person for the world and for
Yeah.
others, right? Yes,
Right.
decision determines destiny. Oh my God, I wrote that down
Yes.
earlier.
Yes. Decision
Wow.
determines destiny. That's true.
Yes,
And
it
it goes back to
does.
what we was talking about earlier. Life is about choices. This decision can lead to this consequence. This decision can lead to this consequence. You know,
Which one
but
are
at
you
the
going to
same time,
choose?
yeah, and at the same time, like you was talking about Sharon, you also can take responsibility for the consequence, for your actions that lead to the consequence, and you can turn it around and does something positive with it. And that's what he did,
And that's
with
what I'm
life.
saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. He had a choice. It's like, okay, because at the end of the day, a lot of times we can't change external circumstances. When
That's
external
true.
external circumstances have happened, they have already happened, they're happening, whatever. It depends on what time we're in. We're always in the time of now, right? They
Right.
have happened already, and you got to come to you always got to come to that decision and saying, this is what it is. But if it comes down to it where it's injustice, then you have to fight for that, because you're not just fighting for you, you're fighting for all of the men that are in this, men and women that are in situations such as this, and for
Yes.
the ones who are no longer with us that still need someone else to talk about their pain and what it is that they dealt with. So this
Yeah.
is very important.
Very. And we need conversations like this, like what me and you have, and because this is the pink elephant in the room. We're not. A lot of people don't want to talk about people that's locked up or gone away, or done injustice, unless there's some money involved.
That's what it was. I was going to tell you. I'm glad you just mentioned that. Okay, so this is the second time that I told the story. So
Mhm.
I got myself mixed up in something because I allowed my emotions to run the room. And
Right.
if the emotions run the room, there's something that's in everybody, I do believe. And if you wake that up, any of us can be attaching free to our name, right?
Right. Right.
I found myself in a situation and I was shackled on the highway. I was shipped off to wherever, whatever, and everything had to go. And just that whole process of booking and all of that. And then sitting inside of the cell, and luckily I had just given birth to my son, so I was on the med pod. That's the place you
Right.
want to be because they give you extra milk and all of that, right? And you know, I don't know. The women were saying that, and I was just giving it to them because I'm like, I just want to get out of here. Like, why am I here, right? But and so
Oh,
I'm
that's
in
too
there,
funny.
and the sink is attached to the toilet. It's like
Yep.
together, right?
Yep.
And it's this mattress, and I'm taking my shirt that I have on, and I'm washing it in the sink. And just the whole experience of walking down the hallway and dare not look to the side and look at the CO or all of
Uh,
that. And I
um,
feel that during that experience, God took me through that so that I can continue to understand the pain and what someone may be going through. Because a lot of times people don't want to be bothered when someone is locked away. It's
right.
almost like they no longer even exist anymore.
Exactly. It's like a
But
death sentence.
if you experience that,
Oh, preach.
right?
Preach.
As
Preach.
I said, I'm only sharing till third scale, but
Touch.
if you experience that, you find yourself right here at this moment, screaming and screaming and shouting at Free Sheron Edwards, because we
Right.
are going to have that conversation, King. Uh, please believe we are. We were going to have it yesterday, but right now my son has been in the hospital for almost a month. Okay.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I keep telling that in interviews. Yeah, and I'm like,
Uh,
yeah,
I'm,
but I'm still showing up and I'm standing up and I'm
I'm praying
standing
for him.
tall because each day that's given is another day to make a
Yeah,
difference.
I'm
And
praying for
I'm
him.
trusting that everything is working on that end and I got to
And it
do
is.
this. You know
And
what
it
I
is.
mean? And that's where we
Yeah.
at. So,
I believe.
yeah,
I
so we
believe
can,
so.
any of us can find ourselves at that. You can find yourself not even doing absolutely nothing, and someone can knock on this door and do whatever it is that they say, whatever. If they, you know, if they got the
Exactly.
handcuffs and the badge, you out there, and then now here you are fighting, saying that I wasn't even there.
Exactly.
I
Um,
wasn't even there. And because of your skin color, because of the power that we hold really as a people, I wish we knew how powerful we are. We would shake up the
very,
whole universe. Like
very powerful.
we
We
would
are
shake up the whole
oh,
universe.
very powerful.
And
We
when
are
someone blacks you up the way that I experience and all of the other brothers and sisters that are locked up right now, that experience can be so demeaning to your character and
yeah,
who you are, you know, that you will get to a point if you don't tap into your mind and start reading and feeding your mind with positive things, you will start to believe the things that they say. You will start to look at the
right.
bars around you and you will take that into your mind and it becomes your truth,
Yeah, no,
right?
that's true. That's
It
true.
becomes your truth. So
Yeah.
how do we help our brother? Let's recap as we, you know.
Well, like I said again, how we gonna help? For one, we keep free Sheron Edwards. We keep saying
I
his
will
name.
share it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Two, whatever everyone, if you have an Instagram page, reshare his post, anything, reshare his picture, talk about his story. Three, purchase the book Life Lenses. It tells all about his life, you know, and support the brother, you know, because this is dope for, you know, someone that's locked up to write a book. You know, a lot of people on the outside haven't read. I want to thank you for. I want to congratulate you on your book also.
Thank you.
And yeah, and
Thank
you
you.
know, keep saying his name, Free Sheron Edwards. You know, keep whatever we got to do. We're gonna keep saying his name until we get this brother home. Whatever it takes to get Sheron Edwards home. And also, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been helping him and been reposting. Reposting his videos, you know, the people like Sarah Hunley and everybody on TikTok everybody that's been saying his name, you know, people like Burt Robertson, all the people that's really been helping and sharing his name and supporting. I want to give y'all a big up, you know.
Yeah,
Thank y'all.
absolutely. And I want to thank everyone that has like spent an entire hour with us. I mean, people are coming
Yes.
in and out. That is absolutely amazing. Yes, share his post, buy Life Lenses is right now on Amazon. People love Amazon. I love Amazon. Just the delivery is so fast to bring
Yes.
awareness to this brother and to all the others. I always have to say that. Like, it's like he's right here and all the other brothers, can you imagine? They're all standing behind him and they're booting and they saying, yes, do it for us, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. He says
Yes.
synchronicity is the reason we're all the place that we're at on life. Nothing just happens for the sake of just happening. I do believe that. I do absolutely believe that. That is very true. Nothing just happens
Very
to
true.
just happen. So that's why I said
Right.
that, my even though my son is in there for sure, definitely keep him in your prayers. But he
Oh,
is
I'm
he
definitely
is
gonna.
gonna he is gonna be just
Yes.
fine.
We
The
speak
beautiful
that.
thing about my grandmother is that she taught me how to thrive, not just survive,
Yes.
but thrive and smile. And you see these dimples? I love
I see
smiling.
it.
Even
Me
through the
too.
pain.
Even
I
through the
do.
pain, through
I
the
be
vein
in
of pain.
so much pain. Like people be like, oh, Steve Harvey, all these shows. And it's like, I've been through some things, okay? Like that was the story that I was going to tell because I my ADHD. Because I was like, I did all the education and all that, but I still happened to go through some things because what happens is when you're so great, there's another force out there that wants to keep that from happening, right?
Yes. It's that
And
negative energy. Yes.
absolutely not. I would be blood, sweat, and tears to stand up for what it is that I believe, and I definitely
Yes.
I love, and love
Me
will.
too.
Man, this is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so happy and so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sheron Edward, for trusting me with your story. I know that I
Run. We
I
should
had to
run.
ask some other questions about social injustices and decisions and
Hmm.
choices so that
Hmm.
people can get another lens of how
Yes.
that looked before they go and dive into his book, Life Lenses, like his story, right? His
Yes.
journey and his walk. And only
Hmm.
he can tell it the best. So thank God that he made,
Yes.
put this book out. So
Yes.
when we can give our last positive inspiration note
Hmm.
word right before we sign off. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, everybody, well, you know mine is always forward, never backwards. Be a voice for the voiceless, and keep on pushing.
Thank you so much, Pastor Adrian Quinn. I appreciate you. Love,
Thank you
light,
for
and
having me.
energy to you. And to
Thank you. Love,
you
light, and
too.
energy to
Free
you.
Sheron Edwards, and
Free
thank you
Sheron
so
Edwards.
much. Hashtag.
Free
Okay,
Sheron
hashtag it
Edwards.
and let's get this word out there. And when I do talk to him and I put the perspective, I'm going to do another episode of the podcast just so it will be, we'll have part one for him and part two, and it's going to be great.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank you
much.
for having us.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye bye.